Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. What a day yesterday, crazy day, absolutely. We want to take a look at the possibility of Ethereum still being in the bullish wave pattern, and I can tell you already it's become less likely, unfortunately. Certainly yesterday's developments were a massive catalyst, but so far the overall trend hasn't shifted yet. Ethereum can still be considered to be in the bullish wave pattern. I've always stated that as long as we stay above the $1,000 level, there isn't really anything bearish on this chart. However, of course, we need to acknowledge that the sell-off yesterday was very, very strong, so quite impulsive. It made quite the impulsive impression, but overall, this is the zoomed out chart for Ethereum. Again, here we can see a nice example how it was possible that Bitcoin made a new low below the June low and Ethereum didn't. Something I've been stating for weeks and weeks and weeks and months. Of course, this doesn't rule out that Ethereum might still do it. You know, Ethereum could still go below the $880 level from June. If it drops below $1,000, that will be a huge warning. But we've got the evidence that this is possible, and a lot of, it was difficult for a lot of people to understand how this is possible, that I can see still a bullish wave pattern for Ethereum while I'm actually predominantly bearish on Bitcoin, which then played out yesterday because Ethereum did hold above $1,000, actually significantly above. I think we came down to around about 1200 or 1230, while Bitcoin dropped to 17k, which was $600 below the June low. So from that point of view, again, the view that Ethereum is much more bullish than Bitcoin, it is holding much better, has been confirmed. But overall, yeah, we have dropped a lot. We've actually dropped below the yellow support area here for the wave 2, which doesn't mean the wave 2 is now invalidated, but we've dropped below the ideal level, right? So let's zoom in a minute and take a look. Overall, on the higher picture still shows this as a wave 1 and the bigger picture, and this as a wave 2. The wave 2 occurred in an ABC. So basically ABC came here into the support area, bought, yeah, this was an area to buy, and then we rallied. So my view at the moment is still that this could be the wave 2 low from 1195 that was, and we are now in the third wave to the upside that can take us to $3,000. Bear in mind, tomorrow we've got the tomorrow we've got the CPI data release, and that could again be a catalyst for something. If the numbers are maybe a bit positive, this could trigger a rally, especially after the selling off in the last few days. I mean, we're now massively oversold. Down here you can see it actually on the 4-hour chart on the RSI that first of all we're reducing negative momentum already on the MACD. Yeah, here and massively, but we do. And on the RSI we're just massively oversold. I mean, we came down to 17. I mean, the last time that it was that low, that was back in June when we had this sort of initial, you could call it, capitulation event. And we had quite a substantial recovery since then. So that means the downside potential, the imminent downside potential is quite limited now. Of course, it can drop further, but it's still sort of swings the likelihood more in terms of a recovery, right? Okay, so this can still be seen as being in the wave 3 at the moment, that we had here this wave 1 to the upside. I've always told you, profit taking along the way is useful. There will be a wave 2 retracement, which happened now, and the wave 2 or the retracement will be, let's say, the stress test for the bullish scenario. At the moment, it is really in the stress test, yeah. So it's really difficult now and really challenging because we've dropped below the key support area. But we're going to zoom in a minute. I want to first show you the high level picture here. Next, we would be moving up in a wave 3. Coming down in 4, moving up in 5, and that wave 5 of wave 3 can take us to around $3,000. There would be then a wave 4 and a wave 5, but only if we hold the $1,000 level. Or in fact, this particular pattern only works out if we hold the 1195 level, but I would have to, this could still then be, even if we drop below 1195, which was the low of this wave 2, right here, even if we drop below that, we could move this wave 2 over here, as long as we're holding the $1,000 level, and then we have a slightly different wave pattern, then we can count all of this just here as, there's two possibilities. We could count this as a wave A, a B, well, A, B, C makes sense, but then it would be a very short wave C, so it's again losing a little bit in likelihood then, if we lose the 1195 level. But again, as long as we're holding the $1,000 level, this could still be a wave 2, and then we would start the wave 3 from here. Hope that makes sense. And then we are going to zoom in now and take a look at the wave structure, wave pattern. So Ethereum obviously failed, but we talked about that in the last few days. Ethereum obviously failed to push once more higher to the 1740 level. I, however, mentioned to you up here that it was getting risky. We saw bearish divergences on the chart, and I said the top could already be in. So that I used that sort of warning for profit taking last Friday at 1620. You were all made aware. And now we've dropped significantly. Obviously, that strong drop was not really, let's call it, predictable. It was stronger than I anticipated. That probably also led to the price drop below this sort of support area. I would have to change the wave count here. This is not a simple ABC anymore in wave 2, so take that out. But the overall pattern is still correct. My view at the moment is that this looks like, or this can be interpreted as a WXY. So we had here the wave W, here the X, and here the Y. And in the Y wave, we actually have ABC, right? So this could be done. It has come down certainly far enough. A, B, and C, okay? So let me go to the 1 hour chart. And then we would have a chance here to start moving up. So this could be a wave 1 then, and the wave 2 of the third wave, wherever it is, right? So let's do that. This could then start to move in a wave 1, come down in 2 now, move up in 3, 4, 5. However, again, this is coming down quite strongly. So this needs to hold the 1262 level now to be a reliable wave 2 still. If we drop below that level, then we'll probably get one more low. And then I wouldn't call this a WXY, then it would be an ABC. And this is the other pattern, the other possibility. We would then have it like that. So that this was wave A then, this was wave B, and we're coming down in C, but would be allowing for one more low. But again, ideally it holds above 1195. Yeah, because then you can count it as here the C wave, which is a 5 wave move, as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but yeah, 1195 is key support. So ideally we're holding that. If we drop below that, then we have to go to this alternative wave pattern that I just showed you on the bigger picture, on the bigger, or on the zoomed out chart. Okay, but at the moment, as long as we're holding 1262, yeah, this possible 1-2 pattern, we can look at that way. But yeah, we're just approaching that key support, so it's getting a bit difficult already, and there is no sign of it stopping. If it briefly drops below that, that's not a problem, but it seems like we are heading further for one more low. We don't need it now. Yeah, it has really dropped enough. It doesn't need to go any lower in wave 2. It's actually dropped a bit too much, but looking at the internals and the wave pattern, and looking at the fundamental event from yesterday, it kind of explains why it might have been a bit stronger than you would normally expect it. So no problem. But the thing is, we need to hold above the October low of 1195. Would be ideal to straight away start, or we can still hold in the alternative pattern above $1,000 and still be bullish, but below $1,000, that's just it. Now, if we look at the daily chart now, which is quite meaningful, the indicators, you can see that obviously we are increasing negative momentum here on the MACD, and the RSI is quite low at 36, but it hasn't actually moved into the oversold range. Yeah, so the oversold range starts below 30. We haven't dropped below that, so this would technically still support further downside, but on the lower time frames we're already massively oversold here on the 4 hour. So there should be at least some kind of recovery before we drop much lower. I guess the next few days will show that. Tomorrow we will have a lot of volatility again because of CPI data release. So yeah, I warned you last week or on the weekend, especially in the member live stream, but generally on the weekend, that it would be a volatile week. Midterm elections and the and obviously CPI data. And I also warned everybody already on the weekend about FTX, so hopefully most people got out of FTX. But normally, obviously, I don't cover FTX on this channel, but that was something that we were observing in the background, and then in the end it turned out to be true, actually, those concerns about FTX. Okay, and that's my update about Ethereum. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.